They call you the Godfather of AI. So what would you be saying to people about their career prospects in a world of superintelligence?
Trained to be a plumber.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the reason why we're here, right? I wanted to check out. I've been following AI for a long time. I'm a fashion photographer, so for me it's a big deal. But I feel like for many people as well, it's just something that I know it's going to be changing jobs. I know it's already changing lives. I know that already in the future, my doctor is gonna have zero knowledge. I mean, I don't know, last week someone told me that they were at the doctor and the doctor was prescribing something for them and she saw ChatGPT on the screen and she's like, what the fuck? Like, honestly, it is changing already so much and everyone is speculating how much, where, which direction, how we're gonna go. And let's face it, I don't feel like we know right now, but we are trying to learn. That's why I've chosen this tiny video, because there is a person who is considered to be the godfather. This is, by the way, absolutely crazy because I know about this whole AI thing since yesterday. What is also insane, I was in Seoul a couple of weeks ago and I was talking to someone who is studying robotics and coding, and he was, he's specifically involved with AI. He was before in China, he came back and he was telling me how, obviously, I didn't know, maybe you do, the first people who use these things which are very advanced are people in the army, right? So these things, what reaches the consumer base, are going to be used by the army for a very long time. That's why he can be called as a godfather, because it has been used for such a long time. We just had no idea about it. So anyway, let's see what's up.
Nobel Prize winning pioneer whose groundbreaking work has shaped AI
and the future of humanity.
Why do they call you the Godfather of AI?
Because there weren't many people.
That's the thing, future of humanity. Like, are we right there right now? Like, he has changed, not just yet, right? Like, I am writing emails with AI, okay? Like, I feel like it's getting there, but it's still not making my breakfast, right? Just calm down. I feel like sometimes YouTube just wants to be YouTube.
People who believed that we could model AI on the brain so that it learned to do complicated things, like recognize objects and images or even do reasoning. And I pushed that approach for 50 years. And then Google acquired that technology. And I worked there for 10 years on something that's now used all the time in AI.
And then you left?
Yeah.
Why?
So that I could talk freely at a conference.
What did you want to talk about freely?
How dangerous AI could be.
Sure.
And if you want to know what life's like when you're not the apex intelligence, ask a chicken. So there's risks that come from people misusing AI, and then there's risks from AI getting super smart and deciding it doesn't need us.
Is that a real risk?
Yes, it is, but they're not going to stop it because it's too good for too many things.
What about regulations?
They have some, but they're not designed to deal with most of the threats. Like the European regulations have a clause that say none of these apply to military uses of AI.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
One of your students left.
Okay, I'm sorry, just for 1 second. Like, I feel like, and I have to admit, obviously, I saw some of this. I haven't watched the whole thing. I wanted to understand what it's going to be about, if it's going to be nice or not. Like, there is one thing what I feel like is absolutely crazy. Everyone is talking about being afraid of it. And I feel like with me personally, right, because it really does affect my job. I mean, I'm working for clients like Mango, the clothing brand. And they started using AI actually, and they made their first campaign and they made their first e-commerce. E-commerce is the one when you're shooting actually clothes or models. You want to buy something, you go online, you see these on them. That's what I do. That's for fashion photographers, an easy way to make money, right? And Mango was the first to adopt. I feel like when you're focusing on certain things, like certain aspects of it, like danger, I feel like that's all you can see. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been focusing a lot on the adaptation, on how to use it, but also the effects of it. And obviously since Terminator, which by the way, I was scared. Childhood traumas, I'm affected by it. These people are obviously focusing on certain aspects of AI and watching this video, and I think you're gonna see it as well. He's also focusing a lot on actually the negative side effects of it. I feel like when your reality is switching to be that negative and you're focusing on it, you're gonna see that side more.
left OpenAI.
Yeah, he was probably the most important person behind the development of the early versions of ChatGPT. And I think he left because he had safety concerns. Unless we do something soon, we're near the end.
So let's do the risks and what we end up doing in such a world.
And to do reasoning, you need to use some form of logic. And in your head, you must have something like symbolic expressions that you manipulated with rules. And that's how intelligence worked.
I'm already lost, by the way. Yeah.
Try and figure out how you would learn strengths of connections between brain cells so that it learned to do complicated things. I pushed that approach for like 50 years. Because so few people...
50 years. 50. I am 40 years old. When I was growing up, I had black and white phones. AI was not any close to be there, right? Like, the closest I've been to AI is when I felt when my mom was calling me, and because it was 10 p.m. Like, that's actually where my insecurities are coming in terms of, like, generally from companies. We know so little. We are really not aware of what's actually happening in the world in terms, no conspiracies, right? Like, I actually don't care. There are so many things on the consumer level, or the basic human beings as we are really not aware of what's happening. And that actually freaks me out a lot. Don't we all have the right to know certain things? Think about that.
If I want to share information with you, so I go off and I learn something, and I'd like to tell you what I learned. So I produce some sentences. This is a rather simplistic model, but roughly right. Your brain is trying to figure out, how can I change the strengths of connections between neurons so I might have put that word next? And so you'll do a lot of learning when a very surprising word comes, and not much learning when it's a very obvious word. If I say fish and chips, you don't do much learning when I say chips. But if I say fish and cucumber, you do a lot more learning.
Can we agree that what he's talking about right now is, I don't see the connection between dangers of AI and cucumbers. Bear in mind that he's very intelligent and I'm not. I just need, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're making YouTube videos, you have to make sure that the 5-year-old can understand, aka, what the fuck?
You wonder, why did I say cucumber? So that's
correct.
Roughly what's going on in your brain. Now, we don't know how much of a risk it is. We've never been in that situation before. We've never had to deal with things smarter than us. So really, the thing about that existential threat is that we have no idea how to deal with it. We have no idea what it's going to look like. And anybody...
Yeah, it's actually correct. Jesus Christ, like, I know it better. Like, that's my whole point. Like, we are trying to research, we are trying to guess. And what I'm actually thinking a lot about is that we are not there yet. We don't know. We don't have the robots. We don't have these crimes. We don't have these crazy things happening. So are we afraid of something that we created in our heads, thinking about the future? We have this preconception of something that we see that the future is going to happen. I'm just not sure that that's the way it's going to be. We just don't know. Obviously, AI has more future than those crypto monkeys. I don't know the name. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Like Yudkowsky say, no, these things are going to wipe us out for sure. If anybody builds it, it's going to wipe us all out. And he's confident of that. I think both of those positions are extreme. It's very hard to estimate the probabilities in between.
Yeah, like, are they probable? Yes. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it gonna happen? That's the thing. Are we afraid? Yes.
Had to bet on who was right out of your two friends.
I simply don't know. So if I had to bet, I'd say the probabilities in between, and I don't know where to estimate it in between. I often say 10 to 20% chance they'll wipe us out, but that's just gut.
Sometimes.
And I'm sorry, and that's the thing that actually, the main issue is not AI. The main issue is greediness. People want to make money. There is one guy who's going to be like, okay, I think we can do a little better if we set those sensitive toggles a bit more high up, and then these robots are gonna be more emotional. Just like with everything. And I'm from Hungary, okay? So right now our government and everything is just doing crazy stuff. We're not happy about it. The issue is not with the government, is not with the AI. The issue is with the people who are governing and people who are making it and people who are gonna be making money out of it. That's the problem. Like, that's the core of everything, like greediness. And let's hope. I mean, obviously, many people are talking about it, and many people are trying to make money. Many people are trying to control it. Let's see where it goes.
Sometimes I think if we talk about that second path, sometimes I think about nuclear bombs and the invention of the atomic bomb and how it compares. Like, how is this different? Because the atomic bomb came along, and I imagine a lot of people at that time.
What was the issue with that bomb? The person who dropped it.
Yes, I was there. We did.
Yeah, but what?
By the way, are we happy about the fact that this guy was there and then he started to make this AI thing which is going to kill people, possibly? The common thing between those things are this dude. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we're gonna jump a bit, but basically, obviously we know the difference between, like, there is huge difference between EU and US. And like, am I correct? I heard that probably, I don't know, on a podcast or something, that they have fluoride in the water in America, like just because of the cavities. Like, they might want to make sure that people, even if they are not brushing teeth with the toothpaste, that they are going to having, like, drinking fluoride reduces the chances of having cavities, so they put it in the water. Like, there are so many things very weird in the eyes of a European person who's, by the way, I live in Hungary. Again, I'm not the most advanced person in the world, but it's like, even for me, like, America sometimes seems just weird. So obviously, I feel like the way they are doing it, they are trying to be ahead with certain things, so they don't control, they don't make certain things illegal, just to keep the advantage, right? But then in so many cases it backfires, because they realize that, oh, by the way, this certain oil, what we're using for cooking, really fucks up your hormones. In Europe, people are more careful. That's why they are a bit more controlling, which in many cases works out as a benefit. Kind of want to jump a bit, because it's a cyber attack risk is something that, yeah, I mean, obviously AI, because it's based, like, the whole thing is code. We're gonna be doomed, by the way. There's gonna be also the quantum computers that's gonna be super fast and super intelligent. Bro, I think I'm gonna go back to ceramics and just make stuff out of clay. That's my jam. How to protect yourself from cyber attacks? Well, unplug, I guess. Using AI to create viruses. And actually, I saw it before. So, like, viruses, they're talking about how you would think that, like, especially after the cyber attacks, right? Viruses like computer. No, bro. Actually, viruses, because AI has the access to everything. And if you know the right questions, if you know what to talk about, then AI can actually help you to create something what you never even thought of, or maybe wasn't even capable before, but right now you are, because you have that, like, we are becoming cyborgs. Like, you have that extra brain power, what is not yours, but actually you've been boosted. Scary. Again, are we focusing on negatives? We sure do. AI and corrupt elections. I mean, bro, were we corrupt before? I mean, can it be any worse than right now? Or maybe it's like negative plus negative equals positive, and it's just gonna be better elections. Echo chambers. I don't know. Is it like sexual stuff? Don't care. Regulating new technologies. You see, like, our regulations holding us back from competing with China. That's exactly what I talked about. Like, you always want to have that edge. You always want to have that extra. And that's why, like, people are creating those crazy fucked up things just to be ahead.
Are you at all hopeful that anything can be done to slow down the pace and acceleration of AI?
Okay, there's two.
But that's the thing, like, why would you ever want to slow down things? If it's reasonable, don't slow it down. Slowing down doesn't make the inevitable come. It doesn't. It's just like, let's face it, let's deal with it. What if we are, instead of being, like, trying to slow it down, being reasonable? What if we make people responsible? What if we create a certain board who's in control, and they are people who are not motivated by money? What about that?
Two issues. One is, can you slow it down?
Yeah.
And the other is, can you make it so it will be safe in the end? It won't wipe us all out. I don't believe we're going to slow it down.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't believe we're going to slow it down is,
Honestly, I have to double check my toaster. This wiping out is so scary. Like, no, please don't wipe. Like, the only thing I want to wipe is my counter, shelves. I have to do my research, or maybe people, please, like, comment when did you hear about AI first? It would be so cool to know.
I think this is more like when they got machines in the Industrial Revolution, and you can't have a job digging ditches now because a machine can dig ditches much better than you can. And I think for mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody.
That's the thing. What equals to digging ditches nowadays? That's the thing. I'm trying to define that. Is my job digging ditches right now? Is it what I'm doing something that can be easily replaced? Maybe long term, if we are not wiped, by the way, maybe long term, taking away my bread right now, long term is going to be allowing me to have jobs I enjoy more, and that I would be really happy for. So not every change is bad. It depends on how we see it right now, right?
Am I right in thinking the sort of industrial revolution played a role in replacing muscles?
Yes, exactly.
And this revolution in AI replaces intelligence, the brain?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like I'm being stoned. Like, it's just like, I was never thinking about that, and it makes so much sense. Crazy.
I suppose I drink a lot, or I drop some acid.
Do you think that because drop some acid came to his mind first or second, do you think that he needed, I mean, that face says a lot, I'm not gonna lie. But like, do you think that he actually needed that acid to think out of the box? I mean, AI is so crazy. He's been doing it for 50 years that actually he needed that mental boost.
I spoke to the CEO of a major company that everyone will know of, lots of people use, and he said to me in DMs that they used to have just over 7,000 employees. He said by last year they were down to, I think, 5,000. He said right now they have 3,600. And he said by the end of summer, because of AI agents, they'll be down to 3,000. So
it's happening already.
Yes, he's halved his workforce because AI agents can now handle 80% of the customer service inquiries and other things.
Taking away what you don't like doing and you being forced to be out of your comfort zone, learning a new skill is long-term beneficial. I truly believe that. Putting people in a situation when they're actually losing their job, they have to find something ASAP, because obviously many people are not, they don't have that in the bank account what they need to have to survive for 1, 2, 3 months, half a year. Very scary, very scary. They can be put in a situation which can be hard to deal with. So I feel like, again, the answer is somewhere in between. It would be nice for people to have time to adapt. At the same time, I feel like because it's been happening for 50 years, which I didn't know about, we have time to adapt. We can see somewhat, so I can learn. I don't have to change, but I can have a backup plan. I'm playing Ultimate Frisbee, Google it. I love recording my teammates when they having a game. And I do believe that AI cannot make that, because the editing and putting music under is going to be something that AI can do, probably better than me in the future. But AI has to be there recording it, which is, I don't believe it's going to be happening, at least for a very long time, that like an AI walks there and records the thing. Especially not the way I see it, not the way I record it, not with the equipment, because one of my lenses is really shit and I can only do manual focus. So it's like out of focus all the time and it's weird, but that makes it mine, right?
So urgent action is needed.
Yep.
I don't know what that urgent action is.
That's the trick.
Bro, he's getting tired. I mean, so am I, but like...
I mean, what do we need to do? Save up money? Like, do we save money? Do we move to another part of the world?
Train to be a plumber.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's the end. And yeah, as I said, doing ceramics sounds like a good decision, because the guy is like so negative about it. And like, train to be a plumber is such a fuck you sentence, to be honest. And it's so negative that it's like, just by the nature of this sentence is, I'm sorry, but that's not the way it's gonna be I would bet a lot of money on it. I feel like this whole 1 hour and 30 minutes was just about like scaring people and making sure that you feel shit about the future, which is really not how I want to live my life, right? Like, even if it happens, even if one day I have to sacrifice so many things that I like doing because it cannot provide me any material as like money or food or whatever, I feel like I cannot stop enjoying. Let's see. I want to see other stuff like that. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. If you don't, please let me know. I hope that I can do this because it's very interesting to me, even though I don't know too much about it. So it's very interesting to learn together. Yeah. Have a nice one.